Welcome to another Vibrations on this YouTube platform, brothers and sisters. This is none other than the Brbptv channel, brothers and sisters. Be real, be positive television. The very first one I've dropped, brothers and sisters. No, the second one I've dropped, brothers and sisters. The previous one is on the Mr. Leaks reaction, guys. That link will be in the first comment in the comment box below. So definitely check that Vibrations out, guys. And don't forget to click the like button, brothers and sisters. Click the like button. I would appreciate that right there. And then hit that thumbs up button in that regard, of course, helping the algorithm to push the videos for them out there. And of course, guys, don't forget, if you've not done so, subscribe. Some of you guys subscribe, but you did not click the bell, brothers and sisters. Click the bell after you subscribe and then click all to be notified when I drop my videos right there. And also helping this channel to grow in that regard right there. Without further ado, brothers and sisters, I don't want to stay long on this, so let us get into the Vibrations in that regard right there. Of course, we have the press release of the Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, 10 a.m. that actually dropped today, brothers and sisters. We're going to see what he has to say in that regard.
Comforting during this period of grief. May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Who?
By his passing, promising talent who worked at the Electoral Commission as information officer and most recently as investment promotions officer at China-Dominica Authority.
Sympathies to this individual
who traveled with the team and kept us informed. Sprint by sprint, you know. So I want to recognize the efforts. For the past 2 decades, President Xi and I agreed that our relations are a firm example of successful collaboration and a model for mutual respect between developing countries. China is a true friend of Dominica, and President Xi reassured me of his government's intent to maintain and strengthen ties and explore further cooperation in areas of economy, education, health, and infrastructure.
So it's nice that the Chinese government is wanting to do this. What about your efforts to try to do the same thing to which you're not doing? What about your efforts, Mr. Prime Minister? Because apparently you're not doing that. You keep going out. Boy, that's something else. You keep going out for you to solicit help for screwing up the country that you. But hey.
As you would have heard from news reports, President Xi expressed appreciation for Dominica's steadfast friendship and said he was willing to work with us to develop fresh strategies.
What is the strategies, guys? Let's get
just imagine from Lube to Bacatel is $171 million. So you can do.
Let's go back a little.
Just imagine from Lube to Bacatel, lift the lives and livelihoods of our citizens. These include, among others, the road from a new airport, that's the international airport, to Portsmouth. As you can well imagine, that road project is a substantial cost. Just imagine from Lube to Bacatel is $171 million. So you can do the maths with 20 bridges to be constructed from the new international airport to Portsmouth. We have also received confirmation that assistance will be provided to construct a cultural center for Dominica, and this will include space for performing arts and
why not renovate our culture?
Other entertainment aspects, including fit for purpose or built for purpose or designed for purpose theater, a movie theater, among other things.
We have a movie theater already. We can leave that where it is. If you want to talk about renovate our culture now.
And of course, we'll talk about the Arakosa culture in this. And a pledge of over $27 million for interventions to go towards budget support and government initiatives to be determined by the government. And I intend to
be determined by the government, not the people. And you intend to, of course,
assign part of that money to commence the future housing program in Warner to address issues of housing among the new middle class of young professionals in Dominica. We also made presentations for assistance to construct a new cruise and cargo port, and we will follow up on these with the necessary submissions. In other matters, the government ministers visiting China signed 10 agreements and memoranda of understanding with the government of the People's Republic of China.
What is
For one, Phase 9 of the Agricultural Technical Cooperation Project. We've just concluded Phase 8. We're moving to Phase 9. Additional funding being made available to advance the technical cooperation between Dominica and China. So that's very welcome news for the farmers and the agricultural sector in Dominica. 2, the construction of the Collio River Wall, home repairs and construction of modern toilets to come full circle with the elimination of pit latrines in Dominica. We still have a few left in Dominica, and we shall eliminate this hopefully before the middle of 2025.
But what is your affiliation with trying to eliminate pit latrines? If that's what people can afford because of the quivering economy, you want people to put pit latrines so they can use more water, and then don't get me wrong, I think that is a good idea, but I think that the pit latrine stuff and people getting proper, toilet facilities should be up to the people to do independently. I think I could be wrong, brothers and sisters. What are your thoughts on this?
3 handover certificates for the agricultural science complex building.
And I also believe that the young professionals who will be getting buildings and stuff, I think they should be able to build their own buildings. I think that would help them in that regard right there. But because the economy are not doing well, you have to build buildings for them. And when you build buildings for them, then what does that indicate? That they have to be loyal to you?
In 1 mile Portsmouth. 4, economic and technical cooperation, the elimination of pit latrines in Dominica. We still have a few left in Dominica, and we shall eliminate this hopefully before the middle of 2025. 3 handover certificates for the agricultural science complex building in 1 mile Portsmouth. 4, economic and technical cooperation between the government of the People's Republic of China and the government of Dominica. 5, cooperation plan between our 2 governments on jointly promoting the Belt and Road Initiative. 6, strengthening development cooperation and promotion of the implementation of the Global Development Initiative. 7, consideration on green and...
boy. Yes, sir. All you don't listen, eh? All right, then.
Development.
Let me bring it back. All you didn't hear.
And the government of Dominica. 5, cooperation plan between our 2 governments on jointly promoting the Belt and Road Initiative. 6, strengthening development cooperation and promotion of the implementation of the Global Development Initiative. 7, consideration on green and low carbon development between the National Development and Reform Commission of the People's Republic of China and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Dominica. 8, exchange and cooperation in the field of economic development between the National Development and Reform Commission and the Ministry of Finance of Dominica.
Brothers, why we have to go to China for all this? Why? If we was really focused on ourselves, brothers and sisters, you don't think we'll be able to do these things ourselves? Why we have to go to China to get more monies? And you're not talking about a few $1 million, millions upon hundreds of millions of dollars a day, And China can just print that out of thin air. And if Dominica can't meet the obligation because apparently Dominica doesn't make much money, then they will fall into the China debt trap.
9, news cooperation between Xinhua News Agency of China and the Government Information Service of Dominica.
So we know how the media works in China, brothers and sisters, and we're trying to cooperate with them in Dominica. What? What? Well, it's all you.
10, an MOU between China Media Group and the Government Information Service of Dominica.
So what is in exchange for China? China doing that. What is exchange for what China getting?
The official visit also provided an opportunity to meet with potential investors to pitch ideas for sustainable business ideas in Dominica.
Have you contacted the Dominicans, the people in Dominica, to create sustainable ideas? Or you just need to go out to get more money to put more pain on Dominicans' back? I mean, all these are legitimate questions. Because have you contacted the Dominican people to find out what their thoughts are on sustainable development? Or you think Dominicans just don't have the brain capacity to do so? You need to go overseas and get that done. Well, I think certain times you lack a lot of brain capacity in doing certain things, but I guess incompetence breeds incompetence.
The Minister for Finance, Honorable Dr. Irvin McIntyre, and the Minister for Tourism, Honorable Dennis Charles Pemberton, made presentations to several business leaders and investors outlining opportunities in tourism, renewable energy, agriculture, and e-commerce. There is a high interest in exploring business and investment opportunities here.
True.
And we will pursue these aggressively in efforts to open new gateways to economic growth.
But you should first check the Dominican people first. That's what you should have done. Just like Guyana, the reason why Guyana, you guys check my previous reaction, Guyana is the number one when it comes into Caribbean global leaders. He's number one, Guyana, because he's putting their people first. Mia Motley make it second. I say Mia Motley should go further back, but it seems like Mia Motley is also putting her people first. When they went independent of Britain, Mia Motley's aim was to put her peoples first. The Barbados should get the first biddings. Everything should go to Barbados first. But this is like Dominica's come last. They come last. And we hearing, oh, you go China to do this for us and Dominicans will be happy. Yeah, there you go China to do. But you forget that they should come to you first. I don't understand, you know.
I also addressed the Boer for Asia Forum, where I urge leaders to adopt a collaborative approach to addressing common global challenges, such as climate change and economic.
That's why climate change is not real. There's nothing you can do for climate change, brothers and sisters. Nothing at all. The only thing you can do, well, let me take that back. The only thing you can do is plant trees. That's it. I remember the guy and his prime minister was having a back and forth with one of the UK individuals, and he give it to him. Talk about the oil as a $150 billion industry right there, just like marijuana in Dominica, just like the Mary Jane in Dominica could have been $1 billion industry. Don't get me wrong, I'm not an advocate for people smoking, but there's a lot of health benefits when it comes down to the Mary Jane. And you could have used this to propel Dominica's economy. We have vast land, so we have the right set of materials needed, right set of atmosphere, right set of everything for these things, brothers and sisters. And Skerrit coming and stand up and tell people who know that's not a growth for Dominica's development. You can just look between the government officials and see the difference, vast difference. Who cares for the people and who doesn't care? You go into China, don't get me wrong, you go to China and help out, yes, great, but talk to the Dominican people first now to see what the Dominican people can do so we can spend less money and have money circulating in Dominica. No, we're going for
inequality. Our visit culminated in Shanghai, China, which has a reputation for rapid development in foreign trade, investment, and industry. I met with the Vice Mayor to discuss possible collaboration between Shanghai and Dominica, specifically in business and industry. Again, we have every intention to follow up on these valuable links established during my official visit to China.
China has value. I think where you should have gone would be Japan, man. Japan, when it comes down to business, Japan would be much better for business because they are advanced by immeasurable understandings, but way advanced. So they know what they're doing and they can organize and teach people what to do. You know, certain things. China, yes, China is there, but I think if you really want to do business, you would have gone to Japan.
Once again, I extend thanks to our host, including the ambassador of the Commonwealth of Dominica to China, His Excellency Martin Charles, who I believe did an exceptional job in preparing for this official visit to China. And to Dominican students for their hard work and showcase of Dominica's culture to a Chinese audience. And I was very much impressed with the high level of professionalism and commitment to a country displayed by the students. And some of them who have completed and some of them who are still studying in China.
Well, most of them don't want to come back. There are some of them who got married to Chinese individuals because they don't want to come back. There are some of them that work in there because they don't want to come back. They're making a commitment to China because they do not want to come back to Dominica. It's not like they want to come back Dominica. It's not like they don't want to come back Dominica, you know. There's no reason for them to come. So you go China and you begin them up, yes, great. You send some of them to school, yes, great. But at the end of the day, they do not want to come back to Dominica at all. Because Dominica doesn't have nothing for them. Guys, I'm not a person that makes my words, you know. This is facts.
It
Facts.
touched my sensibilities in terms of their own maturity and professionalism. And so I commend them. They all certainly made us very, very proud.
Yeah, because they have opportunities there for them to elevate themselves. That's why they do not want to come back. Some of them don't even want to stay. It's not like the atmosphere, they feel better on more Caribbean people, or people are closer to them. So they would like to come to another country instead of coming to Dominica. So that's very interesting right there. But of course, you talk about the maturity, which I think is a good thing. They have matured and realized, hey, I need to do better.
In China. I assure you, I must, of our continued commitment to working with China. China is the leading trading partner for over 60 countries in the world.
Yes, because they can print money out of thin air and give it to you.
All of whom are major economies around the world. And of course, China is an important player in international
That's true.
affairs. And it's important for us to continue working with them to our mutual benefit.
Nothing wrong with that, but I think you should put the Dominican people first. That's my point.
I will end here and to allow you to ask of me any and all questions which you have for me this morning. Thank you very much.
How much work is government, or does government intend to do as it relates to that, and how quickly can that be done to assist our young athletes? Yes, you mentioned congratulations to the young boys and girls. Indeed, they did an exceptional job and they represented Dominica. But one of the burning issues is the track. I'm of the firm view that if Dominica had a track, we would have fared much, much better.
True.
How much work is government, or does government intend to do as it relates to that, and how quickly can that be done to assist our young athletes to enhance their true potential?
Dominica included, China is a permanent member of the Security Council. They also have a veto vote. You would have seen that the last matter which went to the Security Council last week, China supported the resolution. Also, the United States did not object to it, which was a welcome move by the United States and admired by all of us across the world. The reality is the situation in Gaza has to be brought to some end. It cannot continue. And so every country in the world, I believe, that would have been captured in it to advance prosperity to the world and come all demands of Israel in respect. The track is certainly crucial for Dominica. It is a matter that as a matter of fact, the South will have been a meeting this morning. It postponed later down. So we are advancing this track. This is another priority for the government. We have identified, as you know, the location for this track based on the soil testing there. That's in Point Rung, and we have to move with the final acquisition processes for this track. You know that the International Athletic Association has given some commitment to the DOC and to the Dominica Athletic Association for some limited funding that will go towards this track. So we're looking to partner with the DOC and the Athletic Association through Mr. Brendan Williams, will be leading the process along with the president of the DOC on this matter. So I'm very confident that very soon one will see some movements, physical movements where this track is concerned.
Yeah, that's a good thing. But brothers and sisters, we would already have the track already. Remember, when they built the stadium, should have been a stadium that would be able to play 6 sports at the same time. That's one of the things that the United Workers' Party wanted to do, and they started it and they uprooted it, threw it in the sea, and then they built the thing that they call in the sports stadium there, or the sports entertainment stadium, music stadium, I would call it. But we would have had this thing done already, and we're back to square one trying to figure out what we should do. Hey, they want to bring it to Portsmouth, maybe utilize the apartments and stuff when they're having, meets. I think that makes sense, but we would have had that already. So I just thought I had to put in right there.
In our view, this is the only missing, or one of the few missing points where sports is concerned in terms of the government's investments in sports in Dominica.
What about swimming?
and so we look forward to completing and coming full circle with our investments in sports in Dominica. But I agree with you entirely that having a synthetic track, having our children, our athletes.
Yeah, you agreeing with him? It's a question he asked. He asked you the timely manner. What timely manner is it going to be happening?
Exposed to these facilities will place them in a better position
Time.
to
They
be able
ask
to
you for the
compete
time.
globally, because we do have the raw talent, we do have the capacity. I think the next push is really to provide them with that facility, and we hope that they can make use of this facility to really get them to the next level.
Time. What is it? Time frame.
Yes.
You, EBS Radio. My first question is, you made reference to a new cultural center to be funded by China. Any idea where is that cultural center going to be located? And what is the future, as I speak about this new cultural center, what is the future of the Arak House of Culture?
Yeah.
I know reconstruction has been underway since Hurricane Maria in 2017. So where is the future of this? My other question, Prime Minister, has to do with plans for a sports council and sports policy for Dominica. Sports council and sports policy have been on the cards for Dominica for several years now. And at the center of this, by the way, at the center of this would be time off for national players to represent Dominica. Can you give us an idea where?
That's a good question. Time off those are national because, you cannot just say you go and be doing sports as a career in Dominica. You will cool it. You will cool it like Joseph Isaac Bakery, brothers and sisters. You can't just say, hey, I want to do sports and leave off. No. People have to go and work. And they work and then they will do sports as, as a backdrop. They might be practicing or what have you after work and, so forth and so forth. But that's a good question right there because Dominican athletes don't focus on athletics as their first thing. They have to survive first before they can, get into that field.
Yeah, this is at the moment, as far as the government is concerned, where is this? And water rates. Will we see an increase in water rates for Dominica in 2024? I'm sure we'll have another.
I think we need to ask the Prime Minister one question at a time because he sometimes doesn't answer the question at all.
To ask a few more questions. Thank you very much.
But we have, in respect to for the new cultural center for Dominica, we have some options. I intend to meet with some cultural enthusiasts very early next week. As a matter of fact, I've spoken to a couple of them since my return from China, and so that we can solicit the guidance on which they believe would be the better.
Why are you going? Maybe I don't hear that correct. He's going to talk to cultural enthusiasts, and they are Chinese.
Looking for the new cultural center for Dominica, we have some options. I intend to meet with some cultural enthusiasts very early next week. As a matter of fact, I've spoken to a couple of them since my return from China. Okay. So that we can solicit the guidance on which will be the better among those that we have, and also to have a committee established made up of both government and non-government individuals to really oversee the implementation and construction of this cultural center for Dominica, to ensure that we capture all of the elements that they believe should be in this cultural center for Dominica.
So why does renovate Arak House of Culture instead? You're going to spend money on a cultural center and then renovate Arak House of Culture? Isn't that just wasting money?
Sometimes, it's good to get people who have an intrinsic desire for this. Passion is 80% of work aspect, so we intend to do that, and so we will finalize the location. In respect to Arak, as you know, I've expressed my views about Arak. I believe that the Arak should have been reconstructed from foundation to roof. Sometimes when you tamper with old buildings, as you go along, additional problems arise. Just as a Catholic Church, with regards to the
Who built the Arak House of Culture, brothers and sisters? Who built it? Because you want to mash up the building to rebuild it again. So my question is, who built it?
To the cathedral. I mean, they went and did the roof and then found out that there has no foundation. They have to do whole new foundations, then do foundation and something happened. And anyone of us who fixed an old house.
So they're building the houses on foundations that are not correct?
You'll understand that the more you fix, the more you see problems. Sometimes it's just better to break the house down and rebuild it.
So don't you think you should do an assessment first before you break down the thing and the thing is actually good? Do you think you should do assessment first before you decide to break it down? I think that would be vital instead of spending more money again. Well, then again, seems like we want to build cultural center and then renovate our culture. That sounds to me like, hey, we have more money to wash.
So, but in Dominica, sometimes people don't like to break things down and rebuild things. You know, there's something called restoration, you know, and people forget that there's things called restoration. We've restored the carpets, you know. It was
you didn't break down the carpets, not to restore it.
Broken down, we restored it. So I think sometimes that we are, just like the library. Nobody wants me to break down the wooden structure on the library site. We would have built a modern library many years ago, but there are people who believe that those things have to stay and so on. I could have used some of the wood, I could have used some of the stones as part of the new library so that the historical elements of it would have remained.
But so what about the engineers? What about the people who are in charge of infrastructure in Dominica? Why are you the one who has to oversee everything? Why? You overseeing a culture, you want to oversee infrastructure, or what? What the other ministers doing?
You know, so that's the problem you have with the Iraq. So the audio system was procured and seats, stage rebuild, all the internal works completed. Then I'm being told that we may need a new roof for the Iraq. You know. To go and break this down and to go and build a roof, then I'm sure they're going to tell me, well, I need rig beams because...
Well, so, that's how, let me continue.
And I think that we should have that, but I have a different view from many people and so on. So I might be, you know, sometimes of the... I'm being told that we will get costing and designs for the new roof, so I'm waiting for that. So, you know, so I understand and appreciate the anxieties of enthusiasts. I mean, I'm still, you know, so I understand and appreciate to hone the talents of the young people in dancing and other art forms in modern facilities, you know, so that, but trying to put delays
guys, the reason I'm skipping because what he's saying right now doesn't make any sense to me.
Construction and other things and so forth, and procurement of items, and we now have to look at building a new roof to assign somebody or a couple of people exclusively to these matters and get it done in 6 months. The reality is, if you have to rely on public servants who have all other things to do as the day goes by, then sometimes this thing get lost in the mundane issues and the...
So bring foreigners to do it? Is that what Skerrit's saying there? Forget about the public works. Forget about these people there and use foreign. Is that what he's saying?
New issues which come up. So I'm hoping that I will meet with the Minister of Sports and to urge that we assign somebody specifically to advance those issues. I think there was somebody that was done some time ago, but there were some issues there and so forth. So I think that's where we are with regards to that. But with regards to time off for national players, obviously you would have to pass a specific piece of legislation to address this. What we did, and that was done way back when I was Minister for Sports, we allowed public officers to go out with no difficulties to represent Dominica. As a matter of fact, Billy Doctor will tell you that there was once he had a problem with the permanent secretary, and I intervened and I put an end to it because he was having challenges in going out to represent Dominica as an umpire. You know, it made no sense to me, and that was addressed. And so from since then, we have not had difficulties in allowing public officers time off to go out to represent Dominica.
Yeah, but you mentioned putting legislation in place so that would not be a real issue. Allowing people to go out versus the people having the ability, hey, I have to go and play this and I need to go and take time off for me to practice and to do certain things so I can represent Dominica properly. I think, you know, as you mentioned, legislation should be actually put in place for that. Because it's not just saying, oh, you know, I'm going to play sports, and the boss man come in and say, no, you're going to play no sports there. You have to do my work for me, or you fire. I think you will protect the sports individuals if there are legislation put in place.
And I think that you don't need a piece of legislation to.
You just say you put less. That's
represent Dominica. So I think there has to be some sensibilities to, and also a sense of national pride and giving back to the society that is giving you so much.
That have nothing to do with the question. Guys, I finished with the video. You guys can check. I'll post that link in the description below so you guys can check it out right there. If anything else you guys want me to do in this regard right there, I will definitely do a reaction on it. To me, I don't know. What are your thoughts, guys? What are your thoughts? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below, guys. I'm gonna go eat my lunch, man. So I'll see you guys in a moment. Remember, guys, be real. Don't forget to click the thumbs up button, and of course subscribe and turn on that post notifications so you can get all the latest vibrations as it in the coverage. So when we speak once again, be real, guys. Be positive.